Imagine ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs and pyramids. Now imagine a woman ruling this mighty kingdom. This woman was Hatshepsut, and her story is one of the most fascinating in history. Hatshepsut was a female pharaoh, a king in a world ruled by men. She defied the odds and left her mark on Egypt. This is the story of her rise, her reign, and the mystery surrounding her disappearance from history. Hatshepsut's story is important for many reasons. It shows us that women could hold immense power in ancient times. Her reign was a time of peace and prosperity for Egypt, but her story also reminds us that power can be fleeting. After her death, someone tried to erase her from history. Luckily, we have rediscovered Hatshepsut's story. Her monuments and inscriptions tell us about her life and reign. Her story inspires us today, reminding us that women can achieve anything they set their minds to. Let's delve into the incredible life of Queen Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut was born a princess, the daughter of Pharaoh Thutmose I. From a young age, she learned about the duties of a pharaoh. She studied writing, religion, and politics. Hatshepsut was a bright and ambitious girl. She believed she was destined for greatness. The ancient Egyptians believed that the pharaoh was a god on earth. They thought the pharaoh was the child of the sun god Ra. Hatshepsut embraced this divine heritage. She saw herself as the rightful heir to the throne. However, tradition dictated that only men could be pharaohs. When Thutmose I died, his son, Thutmose II, became the new pharaoh. Thutmose II was Hatshepsut's half-brother and her husband. This was common practice in ancient Egypt to keep the royal bloodline pure. Thutmose II was a weak ruler. Hatshepsut was a strong and capable woman. She quickly took on many of the responsibilities of ruling Egypt. Hatshepsut acted as regent for her stepson, Thutmose III, who was just a young boy. Hatshepsut proved to be a skilled leader. She managed the country's affairs wisely. She oversaw trade, agriculture, and religious ceremonies. Hatshepsut was loved by her people. They respected her strength and her intelligence. As Hatshepsut grew more powerful, she craved official recognition. She wanted to be more than just the power behind the throne. Hatshepsut desired the title of pharaoh for herself. This desire would lead her to make a bold move. In a daring move, Hatshepsut declared herself pharaoh. She took on the full title and regalia of a king. Hatshepsut even wore the traditional false beard of a male pharaoh. She ruled Egypt for over 20 years. Hatshepsut's reign was a time of peace and prosperity. She focused on building projects and trade expeditions. She expanded Egypt's influence throughout the ancient world. Hatshepsut's reign was a golden age for Egypt. Many people accepted Hatshepsut as pharaoh. They saw her as a wise and capable ruler. However, some people probably opposed her rule. They believed that a woman should not be pharaoh. Despite this opposition, Hatshepsut remained a powerful and popular leader. Hatshepsut was a prolific builder. She ordered the construction of many temples and monuments throughout Egypt. Her most famous building project was her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri. This temple is a masterpiece of ancient Egyptian architecture. Hatshepsut's temple is carved into the cliffs at Deir el-Bahri. It features terraces, colonnades, and beautiful reliefs. The reliefs tell the story of Hatshepsut's life and reign. They depict her divine birth and her accomplishments as pharaoh. Hatshepsut also built temples at Karnak and other important religious sites. She used these building projects to legitimize her rule and to leave a lasting legacy. Hatshepsut wanted future generations to remember her name and her accomplishments. In addition to her building projects, Hatshepsut also focused on expanding Egyptian trade. She sent a famous expedition to the land of Punt. This land was located somewhere along the Red Sea coast, possibly in modern-day Somalia or Yemen. The expedition to Punt was a major accomplishment. The Egyptians returned with valuable goods, including incense, ebony, and exotic animals. This expedition demonstrated Hatshepsut's power and influence. It also brought wealth and prosperity to Egypt. Hatshepsut's reign was a time of peace and stability. This allowed her to focus on trade and diplomacy. She maintained good relations with Egypt's neighbors. Hatshepsut's reign was a golden age for Egyptian trade and exploration. Despite her successes, Hatshepsut faced challenges during her reign. Some people never accepted her as pharaoh. They whispered against her in the shadows. They believed that her stepson, Thutmose III, was the rightful ruler of Egypt. As Thutmose III grew older, he likely resented Hatshepsut's hold on power. He wanted to claim the throne for himself. It is possible that he plotted against Hatshepsut. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory. The exact nature of the opposition to Hatshepsut's rule remains a mystery. We do not know how widespread or how dangerous this opposition truly was. However, it is clear that Hatshepsut was not universally accepted as pharaoh. Section 8. The mystery of Hatshepsut's disappearance. After ruling for over 20 years, Hatshepsut vanished from history. The circumstances of her death are unknown. Some historians believe she died of natural causes. Others suspect foul play. The truth may never be revealed. What we do know is that after Hatshepsut's death, someone made a deliberate attempt to erase her from history. Her images were defaced. Her name was chiseled off monuments. It was as if she had never existed. Why did this happen? Was it Thutmose III seeking to eliminate the memory of his stepmother's rule? Or were other forces at play? The mystery of Hatshepsut's disappearance and the attempt to erase her legacy continues to fascinate historians today. Section 9. Erased from history. For centuries, Hatshepsut's story was lost to time. Her monuments lay in ruins, her name forgotten. It was as if she had never existed. The attempt to erase her from history was almost successful. However, Hatshepsut's story was not entirely lost. In the 19th century, archaeologists began excavating the ruins of ancient Egypt. They rediscovered Hatshepsut's monuments and deciphered the hieroglyphics that told her story. The rediscovery of Hatshepsut was a sensation. Here was a female pharaoh, a woman who had ruled Egypt thousands of years ago. Her story challenged the traditional view of ancient Egyptian history. Hatshepsut's story forced historians to reconsider the role of women in ancient societies. Section 10. Rediscovering a powerful queen. Today, Hatshepsut is celebrated as one of the most successful pharaohs of ancient Egypt. Her reign was a time of peace, prosperity, and cultural achievement. She is admired for her intelligence, her ambition, and her determination to break down from the traditional roles assigned to women. Hatshepsut's story is a reminder that women have always been capable of achieving great things. Her legacy inspires us to challenge gender stereotypes and to pursue our dreams no matter how audacious they may seem. Hatshepsut's story also teaches us about the importance of historical memory. The attempt to erase her from history reminds us that history is not always written by the victors. It is up to us to uncover the forgotten stories of the past and to ensure that all voices are heard. Section 11. Hatshepsut's enduring legacy. Hatshepsut's story continues to fascinate people around the world. Her monuments are visited by millions of tourists each year. Her life and reign are the subject of countless books, documentaries, and even operas. Hatshepsut's legacy extends far beyond the borders of ancient Egypt. She is a symbol of female empowerment, and a reminder that women can achieve anything they set their minds to. Her story inspires us to challenge the status quo and to fight for a more just and equitable world. Hatshepsut may have been forgotten for centuries, but her story has been rediscovered. Her legacy lives on, inspiring us to dream big and to never give up on our dreams. Hatshepsut, the woman who ruled Egypt as a king, continues to captivate our imaginations and to challenge our assumptions about the past.